Boys is getting quiet. Go on and get crunk. Head back to Longview, Kelly popping trunk. I ain't even tripping. Riding and I'm sipping. Let me come through, 4-4 steady tipping. On that new lap. Watch the trunk crack. Let me sit sideways, CB running back. Maybe AP, maybe AD. I ain't even tripping cause we some athletes. Messing with Smitty in the summertime. He get pissed if we don't make our time. But we gon' get it, cause we gotta finish. Nebraska Horn Hustlers, man, we diminished. Put them boys little, paint like a skittle. I ain't even tripping, I ain't never double dribble. Cause I'm a player from the Himalaya. Let me sit sideways, man. Maybe back door, maybe fall off. Sipping codeine cause I gotta kill a cough. Let me sit sideways in the big Benz. Oh, you boys, they my brothers, they my friends.
All right. Welcome into Fullback U, and this is going to be a great podcast. Got an Oklahoma native, my dog. He's got one of the greatest highlight hits I'm so jealous of still. It gets posted every day. But my boy Gabe Lynn, how you feeling, Gabe?
I'm good, man. Blessed to be on here. I love what you're doing, and so I'm excited to be on here.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Just talk about what you're doing these days. Let everybody know.
Yeah, so I'm coaching down in Houston at Houston Baptist University. Small Division I school. We got a good program going, so I'm coaching DBs there. It's I'm going into my second season, so excited. Yeah. Hopefully, everything starts on time, but excited about that.
Yeah, is it going down? Have you did the sip of syrup, all the slang talk down there, screw music? You don't have an accent yet, so is it H-Town still? You still Oklahoma?
See, and there's a lot of people from Oklahoma that I be seeing them going up to H, and I'm like, man, nah, you're not. I'm not. I got my pops from here, family here, my family from here, but I'm an Oklahoma boy, so you're never gonna see me going up to H. You're never gonna see none of that. But I got love for Houston. I'm living out here. I love the city. Probably one of the best cities I've ever lived in. But I'm an Oklahoma boy. That's what it is. What it is. You got to have pride. And I think being at OU, wasn't a lot of us on the team. We was outnumbered by the Texas guys.
Talk to him, Gabe. Talk to him. Talk to him.
Yeah, you gotta rep ours. So
yes. Man, let's talk about that. You went to one of the most tradition-rich high schools, man. Shout out to Jinx, my boy Kewan Jones. A lot of big-time cats came out of there, man. What was it like playing? Rest in peace, Coach Trimble, man. What was it like playing for a legend like that, growing up in that tradition? Let me know.
Yeah, Coach Trimble, man, he was, like you said, you hit it on the head. He's legendary, man. And so when I first got into the Jinx program, for me, it wasn't a big transition going to OU because I got to see what it looked like workouts every summer. If you don't go, you don't play. You know what I mean? This is a high school. And, in high school, camps and stuff that cost, but he had ways like, hey, if anybody can come, you might have to work, spend a couple hours cleaning up the weight room. I'm going to make sure you get to go. So he was, he ran it like a program, man. And then he was a big family guy. It was always, he could tell who needed what. Like if you needed, some extra protein or, a little bit more time around because you can't go home. He'd stay up there late with guys and whatever it was, man. He was just real great dude, man, and touched the lives of a lot of kids and really installed discipline and had us playing for something bigger than ourselves. And that's why I think Jinx had that great run it did because, he really got the guys to believe.
Hey, man, I got to give another shout out to Jinx, man. I got to play one game there. You were there. Man, what a great field. What a great time. Sorry, Q Chaney. We've already went through that. But you got to be there in person for that. So you comment on it if you want to.
Yeah, man, it was crazy, dog. I grew up, I grew up a football fan. So that was, when y'all came down there and played Booker T. The Booker T was, they had Meacham, Chaney, I forget who they had on D-line. They was loaded, but that hit, dog. Man, Q Chaney gonna eat me up, but Q Chaney ain't been the same since that hit, man. That shoulder been kind of messed up. Dog, that hit was crazy. Everything just shut down. I was like, and that's when I found out who JD Reynolds was.
Exactly. He might be all right.
Yeah, he might be all right.
He might be all right. He ain't too fast. You could beat me in a foot race. I'll give you that. But I got a little bit. But man, just talk about. I know you were just being a really high recruit. Who'd you turn down? Why'd you pick OU? Just let me know all that.
Yeah. So, man, I had I had offers. You know how I go. Once you get that one big offer, they all just come in. You know, it's in the mail. People come by the school that don't even really know you, but hey, you got an offer here. So without going into too much detail, I had an offer pretty much could have wouldn't played anywhere. But you know, my top schools was OU that I was considering was OU, Oklahoma State, North Carolina. They had John Blake, who's a Tulsa guy, Oklahoma guy. He recruited me there, so they were in the play, and then I think Arkansas. But I wanted to stay close to home. I actually grew up. I didn't grow up rooting for OU. I didn't really have a team. I did like Vince Young, so I ain't gonna lie. I rooted for Vince Young when he was playing, but never really against OU. But I just was a Vince Young fan. But when it came down to it, me and my family went to preseason practice one time or training camp for OU, and I saw the Oklahoma drill, and I ain't never seen nothing in my life. Like, it was hype. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had never seen nothing like that in my life.
You remember what year it was?
Man, this would have had to been. This had to been like 08.
Okay.
08, or maybe. Yeah, it had to be 08. It was because it was before my senior season, so it had to be 08.
That's some
and I remember seeing Big Phil, and Granger was in there. GK. What's his name? Oh gosh, Jermaine. It was big bodies going at it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you ended up going in the Natty that lost to Florida that year. But remember, my homeboy was like, my bro, Jared Lake was with me. He was like, dog, like, this is in your backyard. Like, what are you even questioning? I was like, man, you right. So like right then they clicked. I was like, all right, I'm going to OU. Like, the best of the best. They going to they playing for a national championship. You know, running the Big 12. It's not even a question. It's where I want to be. So that kind of solidified it for me.
Man, that's real. And to give the fans a perspective, it just feels like Rome and gladiators and just lion. Just them big boys just look like lions. You like, I wouldn't get in there with them, but I mean, we could. Yeah, let's go. Like, but I mean, just it's interesting that you say that because a lot of people would run from that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and back then, you ran to it. So, talk to me about early on, man. What it was like for you. I mean, we're gonna get into what it was like playing the DB, but man, you was nice out there. Just, I mean, like I said, just had one of the huge. I was at the Bowling Green game when it was Miami of Ohio. When you annihilated, buddy. So we'll get into that one. But just talk about what it was like playing young DB at OU.
Yeah, so for me, it was my freshman year, you know, my true freshman year. I got in there, was summer workouts was a beast. And, you know, that was a whole getting introduced to Smitty and all that. It was turned up. But, you know, as we got into camp, finally got to put the pads on. I was so excited. And, you know, it was different. That's when I learned, like, hey, man, you need to know what this technique stuff. That technique stuff actually matters. You just can't go up there and line up any kind of way against Ryan Broyles or, you know, my freshman year, who would have been there?
Malcolm,
all them. You can't just line up any kind of saying you got to have some technique. And so I kind of learned that. And then camp, I end up, man, I ain't never like, just so many reps. We had 2 fields going, you know what I mean? And it didn't matter if you was a 1 or 3, like you getting so many reps. And so I ended up pulling my hamstring real quick and wasn't hydrating right. And so Coach Wright was like, man, you kind of got off to a quick start, you know. And then, you know, the second week he was like, I'm starting to see that freshman, you hitting that freshman wall. I was just like, man, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired, whatever. And so it came down to it, like about a week before the first game, he asked me, he's like, hey, you know, you can come in and, you know, help out on special teams, but, you know, you didn't really crack the 2 deep, so you just be a special teams guy. Do you want a red shirt? And, you know, I talked to my dad about it, and he's like, yeah, you definitely want a red shirt. So ended up red shirt, man. That was a blessing. I was able to holler at my pops about something like that because, I mean, that really helped my career. I think it's that red shirt year, getting stronger, getting faster, them 550s with Smitty, all that stuff. You know, it sucked, but all that stuff really helped me, I think, down the line.
Shout out to you, brother, because a lot of people would have hit that transfer portal. A lot of cats. I mean, and you coaching.
And I tried to that next season. I tried to. I'm not going to lie, but it was another one of the ones where, you know, just having my dad in my corner and Coach Stoops, really, you know, I sat down with him and Coach Ship, and we really talked it over. And it was, you know, it just, I was like, man, I told my kids this story. I was like, man, I was 19 years old thinking I'm in the office with Bob Stoops, Jackie Ship, and my dad. And all these dudes, they got so much knowledge over years, you know, older than me, been through a lot. They telling me I need to stay, and I'm over here telling myself, no, I got to figure it out. So it was one of them things where I had to humble myself and like, I'm just gonna trust these dudes. You know what I'm saying? They ain't did me wrong. Ain't nobody did nothing to me personally. I'm just happy because I wasn't playing at the time. So I was like, I'm gonna trust these dudes, and I'm glad I stayed, man. Because I ended up, you know, getting to play, you know, keeping that bond. That's the hard part, is leaving that bond with your brothers on the field. Eventually met my dad, so you know, it was guys playing. I'm glad I ended up sticking it out.
Absolutely. And I got to ask you about that, because if I heard Jay-Z be calling y'all, asking y'all for power couple advice. So you got to let me know how that's going, because I mean, y'all balling.
Yeah, man. My wife, she a beast, man. She a beast. You know, she's, from the time I met her, you know, a lot of athletes didn't really like her because she was kind of like the one, like, you know, she was the chick that kept it real. Like, y'all go to the league, or y'all do this, but y'all come back broke. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing changed. You know what I'm saying? And she always knew she wanted to kind of be in the lane she's in as far as the sports world. She didn't know what that looked like. And so she worked on Wall Street, thought she wanted to do kind of more of the financial aspect of it. And then she kind of learned, well, I can have more of I think I can have more of a personal relationship with these guys if I become an agent. So she kind of I ain't gonna say created that lane, because like
no, she did. She's well, but she's a woman, but she's a black woman though too. So
black woman, so she created that black woman lane. Yeah, and you know, and but that's what, man. That's for people that's listening. If you want to do something I give my wife credit for, because I wouldn't do it. Like when I want to do something, I'm just bullhead. Like, all right, I'm gonna figure out this myself. Nah, she's gonna go knock down the doors, figure out who else has did it, who else is from where she from that's did it. Figure out what they went through. Okay, they did this X, Y, and Z. Well, I need to do X, Y, and Z, and then maybe do this. You know what I'm saying? So she researched it, went out there, and made it happen. And she told me, like, I'm about to build a brand. Like, I'm about to change my social media up, about to do all this stuff differently, and I'm gonna build this brand. I'm gonna make this name for myself, and boom, it happened. So shout out to her on that.
Absolutely, man. Tell her to keep doing the thing, man. You know how it is, man, especially guys on that level. They need somebody that cares. Oh, yeah. And so that's awesome, man. She's doing God's work. Walk me through the play, dog. They show it every highlight. And I'm mad. You make the highlight. I'm like, man, they got Gabe on there twice. But we got to walk through the Miami Ohio play. I'm guessing you made a smart play. They probably thought you were dropping somewhere else. You just killed the flat guy. Walk me through it.
Yeah, so I think, I think it was like a 3-by-1 set, I believe. And I think I was a cloud corner, but I was trying to show that I was, you know, bailing or something like that. And then the back comes into the flats, man. And he was a big dude. Like, I can't remember his name, but he's like 240 or something. Yeah. I was like to him before he get his head around, it's over. And sure enough, man, led with the shoulder, so it was legal. It might be questionable today, but I think it was legal. But anyway, led with the shoulder. He didn't get his head around and rocked him. And I actually, like, when you're watching, I was like kind of stunned for a second. I'm just kind of hanging down with my shoulder on fire. But then, you know, I went crazy and whatever, and I kind of woke up and just put my arms up like, dang, you know what I'm saying? But nah, man, if cats that played with me, they knew, like, I wouldn't do no kill shots in practice, but, like, you know, some of the guys that I played with in practice, they know I was coming, you know what I'm saying? It was we had a couple of them. It was, you know, Javon, Tom Ward, them dudes knock your head off. So it was Ronell, it was contagious. You know what I mean? It was contagious.
Well, and that leads me into my next question, Gabe. And this is where I don't, you guys are coaches. You know football, bruh. You know A to Z, X's and O's. To me, it just becomes almost a glorified high school game of where you can develop talent. You're down in Houston. And, man, you mentioned yourself, Javon, Colvin, Ronell. I mean, those are Oklahoma dudes. Those are dudes that's right in the backyard. I mean, are those kids around Oklahoma? You recruit. Is Texas ball what it used to be? Is Oklahoma ball what it used to be? Let me know.
It certainly is, man. It certainly is. Now, I will say I don't think it's as easy in Oklahoma because Oklahoma, especially on the east side of the state, the Tulsa areas is not, you don't just go to Jinx and Union to find them no more, or Booker T. You know what I mean? Those are kind of, it's more spread out. So, like, you got the kid in Beggs, that's the truth.
Broken Arrow, Owasso, Muskogee.
Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapopa. They not just, you know, in typical places. And then a big thing, especially for defensive players, I think coaches kind of miss out in Oklahoma is it's hard for a defensive back. It's hard to, like I remember when Colvin was coming out, it's hard to really look at their tape because it was a question on Coleman. Is he fast enough? Well, nobody's running by him. You know what I mean? He didn't play offense, so you didn't see him scoring touchdowns, but nobody's running by him. He got the best feet in the state. Like, you just got to go out there and look at him. You know what I'm saying? And so I get it. Like, the talent is not as thick as it is in Texas, but there's some dogs in Oklahoma, man. You just got to, you got to beat the grass and really look. But it's a lot of talent. I mean, Carl Albert, I mean, I see them dudes work out a couple summers ago. I ain't never seen a high school group work out like that. I mean, running crazy times. Like they was doing like 100-yard dashes. And these dudes is like hitting like 12 seconds for 30 reps with 30 seconds of rest in between. I'm like, dog, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So any kid from, like, and I ain't just saying this because I saw a whole different thing. I didn't really understand what they was doing there, but any kid from Carl Albert, if the work ethic ain't gonna be an issue because they ain't gonna touch the field. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's talent in Oklahoma, man. I stand on the table for Oklahoma. For sure.
That's real. Let me hit the Carl Albert deal, man. I tell people, Gabe, and you, brother Todd Campbell took my spot in my freshman year and my senior year. The reason I got moved from to safety was because my quarterback sprained my ankle. Bro comes in the next game, gets 3 sacks. And he's just been waiting. And like you said, we have kids that are determined. Shout out to my bro. He sat there for 4 or 5 years behind me, dude, and just watched every play, waited for his opportunity. And now they got to get him on the field. Ends up moving JD back to safety. I got some athletes around me. We've been running like you talked about. Just having that motivation of, we were trying to beat Poteet, Natalio, and Ardmore in track. We had never won state in track, so we had those goals like that.
Right.
I want to get your thoughts on this, and especially because you're a physical player. Are the linemen the same? You look around when y'all recruiting linemen? Are those type of people the same? And then I want to get your thoughts on some of your favorite games at OU.
Yeah. So that I think it's not as, I think that's a little bit more scarce in Oklahoma, and I could be wrong, but especially offensive linemen, it's a little bit more scarce just because Texas is way more people. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have a lot more to pick from. But I would say skill wise, man. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, dog. You got just last year the running backs.
The major. You got Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, the one from Oklahoma State.
Chuba.
Yeah, and then my
Justice
Darwin.
Yeah, Darwin.
It's ridiculous, dog. Like
you're right.
The state is loaded with skilled players. I'm just naming running backs right there in the last year's draft class. So it's man, I mean it's and then I'm not gonna say there are linemen, especially D linemen. There obviously, but I think O linemen, if there is any position that's the least of, maybe O linemen. I know people like Bronson gonna be like, "What?" You know what I'm saying?
It is what it is, though. But I mean, and I've said it too. But I think the spread really hurt Oklahoma, man, because we started. A lot of our defensive guys. It used to be, man, the biggest dude on the field was the D tackle. You walked up there, he was sitting right over the ball, huge, wide blitz.
It kills us, man, and that's why, for me, I think when we go, when OU plays, these SEC teams, and it's like, dang, they look way bigger than us. It's like, we could be that big, but the spread is it's a different thing. We got to have faster, more athletic guys. So just a different kind of matchup.
That's real. Favorite games at OU? Let me know.
Favorite games, man. We played when we beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. That's got to be up there. What you think? We went down to Florida State my redshirt sophomore year. That was special, man. It was Florida State was special. It was one of the best atmospheres I played in. Trying to think. Let me think one more. We was just really turned up at, man. I mean, I was any OU Texas game is just gonna be on another level. You know what I'm saying? That's on another level. And then Oklahoma State, my junior year, Oklahoma State, we won in overtime. Brendan Clay ran a game-winning touchdown. That was special.
That's a great one. You're a coach now, so I'm going to ask you a question, and I'll give you a little bit of time to think about it. What coach molded you, or what coach did you take the most from? For me, it was Kevin Sumlin. I was around so many coaches, man, and Sumlin he taught us so much about life that he had us ready for football, but then you just felt like you had a brother with you that was getting you ready for life, that was teaching you about money and girls and this and that. So just let me know what you did.
So I had I'm gonna say 2 coaches. The first one was Willie Martinez. He came from Georgia. He was the DC of Georgia and came over to coach DBs for a couple of years. did was he taught me how to be a DB. Like I said, when I came in OU, I was real raw because I was a better athlete in high school. A lot of us are, and you could just do whatever you want. But he kind of taught me the technique stuff. And I was still playing corner at the time. And really, like when I got to Detroit, like some of the stuff he taught me back there and like my freshman, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Like this is what he was talking about. The light bulb's still going on. You know what I'm saying? This is what he was saying about these different concepts. So he was the one that kind of on the field, he kind of raised my awareness. And then the second one, I'm gonna say Mike. When Mike got there, he just put the confidence back in me. Like, so I had a bad game my sophomore year, Texas Tech. We got lost our first home game. And I don't know how long. Gave up 2 touchdowns. And
I was there.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that game. But
yeah. But so after that, you know what I'm saying, fans kill me on Twitter, whatever, you know. But that wasn't really what took my confidence, because that's going to happen. But what took my confidence was just like, damn, I let the team down. Like, we lost, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't lose at home. So I felt like I let everybody else down. So Mike comes in that next spring, and, you know, we're going through spring, and he was like, man, they said you couldn't cover. Like, he was like, you're a big DB. You 6 foot, 200 pounds, run a low 4.5. You can cover. Like, what's the issue with you? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, dog, it's me. It's the confidence. You know what I'm saying? So he brought that back and really turned around my career. So I know a lot of people, Mike gets the short end of the stick or whatever, and he might look crazy on TV, but for me, he did a lot just in that moment, helping me get my confidence back. And, you know, that's why I had no problem playing for him. You know what I'm saying? He talk to you crazy, whatever. I might talk to him crazy, but at the end of the day, I know he's going to go tooth and nail for me, you know, so that's how I felt.
Well, and you can comment on it if you want, but to me, man, defenses are talent oriented, and I mean,
yeah.
LSU wasn't doing anything spectacular defensively. They were lining up in the same thing on first and second down and just wearing people out. Go ahead.
It's the Jimmies and the Joes, not the X's and the O's, dog. Hey, you can get some cats that line up. Somebody got to win every play. You get a cat that they gotta like, you know what I'm saying? You got that rush in and like, man, we got a game plan for this cat. It makes everything easier. You know what I'm saying? Now other cats can just go play. So yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a stressful job for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you commenting on that, man. We got to get to the real. Gabe, I mean, we're black men. My dad's black. My mom's white. Yeah. I'm hurting though, man. I see a lot of black trauma. I see a lot of black anger. I see a lot of white silence, unfortunately. Yeah. But unfortunately, I've seen a lot of white people stand up. Thank you all for doing that. For sure. Help me make sense of it, Gabe. What's your feelings of what's going on? Just tell me your feelings. Let me know.
Man, it's tough, bro, because obviously we live in a world where camera phones and body cams are and they catching this stuff. But you know, like we know, man, this ain't nothing new. It's been going on. It's hard. Our conversation, especially when, you know, it's white people that I speak with, you know, that I know, you know, and I have good relationships with, but I also know they don't value my life like they should, whether they know they don't or they do, you know what I'm saying? And so it's unfortunate circumstances, but I think it's really bringing, you know, these videos are really bringing into light. Like I had a track coach in high school that was like, it was like a year ago, something like this came up and he was like, wow, like I didn't realize this, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like people are really being exposed. So that's kind of the positive thing we can take out of that. But it's tough, man. Like it's a lot of work that needs to be done. It's you know, I feel for the city of I feel for Minnesota, I feel for Minnesota. I feel for all these cities. I feel for the families. You know, it's a reality, man, and it, you know, it's real. Us black men got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? We got to be careful, and sometimes when we are careful, it still don't work out good for us. That's just the reality of it. So it's kind of scary, man. And you know, I don't have any kids, but I got brothers. I got, you know, a dad, a wife. It ain't right, man. It ain't right, and I can't. It's scary when you don't really see how it's going to get better. You know what I'm saying? Because we can do the peaceful thing. We can do all that. You know, we can do all that, but ain't nothing really changed. So we'll see.
Well, my deal, Gabe, is like I said, man, I appreciate the white people that did stand up. Yeah. But brother, it's been, I can't go to McDonald's without thinking of Laquan McDonald. That was 15 years ago. Yeah. Samir Rice was playing with a toy gun. That was 13. Where those are the same type of videos? Where was everybody? To me, I'm just questioning what made it What made it George Floyd? What was done to him that you didn't see with Sean Reed when homicide detectives are busting caps? You see the gun. People on his Facebook are saying it's getting that. That's my deal. Is it's getting more and more gruesome.
That's what's it's frustrating because we're looking at the large scope. We're looking at the murders. What about getting put in jail for a routine traffic stop? Like I didn't been in jail twice in Norman when I was in college over some bull. Like one time I'm driving on campus. I'm in she was my girlfriend at the time. My wife. I'm in her car and her insurance wasn't up to date. They put me on the corner, handcuffed me, took me to jail over that. You know what I'm saying? I'm in college. I got my college ID on me. I ain't got nothing in the car with me. Took me to jail, had me sitting on the curb for like 2 hours in the sun. Everybody driving by, you know what I'm saying?
Looking at you, news, blah, blah, blah.
Put me in the dang, they didn't just put me in the tank. Like I'm in a cell. You know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff that when you had those conversations with people, I think I have a pretty respectable, I think people see me as a respectable guy. And when I tell them like, no, this has happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been arrested for dang near nothing. You know what I mean? I think it kind of shows them like, we ain't just talking about the quote unquote criminals. These are people we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? These are real human beings. And even if you did do something illegal, you don't deserve to die. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. So I just hope people, man, can just be honest with themselves, man, and stop living under these blankets for it's BS, dog. It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
I want you to hear this. My dad was a Douglas Trojan. We grew up on the east side. I was born there. My mother worked at the housing authority right there, and my dad was a federal officer right there, gun carrying, could do everything that a criminal justice major, graduated from HBCU at Langston. They were basically they were commissioned police officers, but they couldn't transport criminals. I say all that to say that my dad grew up giving me the talk daily. He grew up giving me the talk daily, Gabe. But I still am terrified, bro. I don't feel there's certain situations, and I'm not gonna. I appreciate you going into yours. I've been there's situations where I've been scared as hell and just don't know because I feel like just because I am that big dude, the black dude, that you feel like I'm a spaz out on you, maybe you blah, 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 blah. But, man, I felt the stereotypes before, even as a half-white guy. I mean,
but you still a person of color. You still black. That's what they see you as. But I'm the same way, bro. My dad was the Tulsa Police Department. He was retired 20 years. But gave me the talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't see you the same. He working with these dudes. He's seeing it on the other side, and he was a part of a major lawsuit Tulsa Black Officers Coalition did in Tulsa about probably 20 years ago. They did a major black whatever, but they did a lawsuit against the city of Tulsa. And same conversations like, hey, you gotta, this is if this happens, you need to do this, do this and that, or whatever. Call me ASAP. Don't say anything. All that. Put your hands on the steering wheel. All that. He gave me them conversations, and he's law enforcement in my own city, like you said, going down the street from where we live. It ain't no different.
Yeah, I want to comment on and get your thoughts on it. But you guys did a Zoom meeting the other day with Shep and Steels, and shout out to you guys, man. As the older I get, the more special playing at OU is. Shout out to you guys keeping that connection together, man. I'm telling you, 10, 15 years down the road, y'all just record it. You ain't got to sell it or anything like that, but just, but just shout out to you guys reconnecting. How was that? How's everybody doing? Let us know.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. And, obviously it's clear what Steels is doing as far as with civil rights and all that, but it was good connecting with everybody, dude. Like, I think probably a few months ago, I don't know what happened, but Aaron Colvin and Joseph Ibloy, they kind of group text and was like, man, we need to check in on each other.
It's real.
Life is short. Let's whatever. If we clown on each other, freestyling, whatever it is, talking about real stuff, let's stay. And so we kind of been texting for the last few months on the group text, and then eventually, like, I think Ibby was like, or Aaron, one of them was like, hey, we need to do a Zoom call. And so set it up, man. And Ib drew up a plan to talk about, and it was real, man. It was some joking, but it was real, like, dog, it's real out here. You know what I'm saying? It was one of them things like, hey, I love you, that type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Just checking in on everybody. So seeing where everybody's at. His guys, a lot of us are in coaching. His guys still playing.
Impacting the guys that this can happen to immediately.
And that's what's real, because we kind of learned everybody has their own umbrella of who they can reach out to. You know what I'm saying? And so we kind of talked about stuff about as far as former players and at OU, and I'm sure deal with it too, but there's different avenues outside of football when you're done, and how it's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's tough when you're done playing. Like, what's next? Yeah, I might have a degree, or I might have a couple hours to get my degree, but ain't nobody really hiring. You know what I'm saying?
For fans that want to help, look into guys and listen. I'm not asking for no handout or anything.
Yeah.
But the majority of guys that don't finish as student athletes, football players at OU, it ends up going bad, and we need to help those guys that we brought from out of state, that we've given this resource to. We need to help them finish that degree. We need to help them get to Sooners Helping Sooners and getting to a job, so they don't fall behind, so they don't make our brotherhood look like anything but great.
Yeah, and that's real, bro, because, I know cats from, and I'm sure you do too, I know cats that played in the 80s that ain't been right since they left. Not saying it was anything at OU, but it's all schools, you know what I'm saying? But it's a transition period. It's a transition part. And if you don't have support, if you don't have help, it's tough, man. It's tough. Like, it's hard, especially when you're away from your family, you know what I mean? So it can be tough. Nobody wants to go back home. That's hard, going back home. Like, what happened? You know what I mean? You didn't make it. What happened? Yeah. So it's definitely a tough transition.
Speaking of that, what happened? And I know, and I hate when people even do this shit. And I couldn't imagine being a former OU DB and having to deal with what happened with y'all defense. So, what's your thoughts on if you're coaching our guys? What's your thoughts on the defense? What's your technique thoughts? What do you think? Is it just talent? Let me know all that.
Yeah. So, man, I think this past year, I don't think they get enough credit how much better they got. I think they got to a point where they wouldn't, from me on the outside looking in, it just didn't look like they were competing like they could have. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, like, scheme is a part of it or whatever, but at the end of the day, if you line up out there, you're supposed to give it your all. And sometimes it might look like they're not. They might be confused or whatever it is. But I think this past season, I think they definitely competed a lot better. And I think they got the talent. I think what's my man's name? Trey Brown. I think he's only gonna get better, which he had a good season last year. Piedmont ball last year.
Tony Yell had a good year.
Yeah, Tony Yell, he'll be back. He messed up his shoulder or something. He'll be back. I think he's gonna be really good.
Buki will be a year older.
Buki, he'll be a year older. Only gonna be better. And I like the way they play him now, closer to the line, because he's really an instinctive player. So I think that's gonna be a good fit for him. Other kid that got hurt. I think he wore 13.
Trey Norwood.
Yeah, Norwood. Yeah, like him too. So I think they only gonna get better, man. Like you said, he's a baller. Patrick Fields, them dudes, they young. So that's what I like about them. They young, and I think this group is kind of the turnover. I know Trey gonna be a senior next year, but I think they're the group that's kind of taking them to the next level. And so, I'm optimistic. I think they got better last year, and I think they're only gonna get better.
That's real. I know you appreciate it, and I appreciate you coming on the show. But I want to get your final thoughts on, man, when you coming back home and when you gonna be the head coach of our boys. I know that everybody's talking about linking to the Cowboys, so blah 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 blah. If he takes that, then OU offers. I'm expecting to hear, hey JD, I need you to come pass out water or something.
Man, shut up. Nah, obviously, that's a dream, man. Right now, I'm just working on learning more. Just get growing in it. And, I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? I love where I'm at right now. But yeah, that's a dream, dog. Like, it's a dream being back at DeMarco, getting to live it out right now. It ain't nothing better than that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm right now, I'm just watching, man. I'm believing that Lincoln gonna get that natty, you know what I'm saying? And I'm excited if he go to the Cowboys, or if he there another 20 years, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, I know that something gonna come open, holler at me. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. That's real. Hey, I love it, man. Fans gonna love it, bro. I appreciate all your time, dog. It's gonna be a great episode.
Appreciate you, man.
All love, bro. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir. All right, welcome in, and I got my brother, my older brother, but my wiser, classier brother, For some wild times, I need some education, so I know nobody better than my brother PJ Mills to educate me. How you feeling, brother?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
PJ, I'm okay. I'm just okay because obviously I'm in a good position personally. But PJ, I'm hurting, man. I mean, I may be an OU player, but I'm a biracial kid. Everybody knows I'm half black, I'm half white. I love my mom's side, I love my dad's side. But there have been numerous times, PJ, where I've been classified and grouped as just a person of color. And I need you to put in I'd love to hear your thoughts about what all's going on right now. But just for me personally, PJ, like I said, it's just been tough because of the places I've always grew up have been more close to the hood. I mean, flat out. I mean, I was the son of my dad went to HBCU, tried to do his thing in criminal justice and couldn't do it. We lived in a neighborhood that was tough growing up, and it taught me a lot. But I'm proud of my black side, man. I'm very proud of my grandfather's grandfather who was slaves in Texas and the things that they overcame and moved to Oklahoma. And it's not a glorious history, PJ, but to me it's valuable because it's how I got here. But how are you feeling, brother?
Frustrated. Very frustrated. I have a daughter. I have a niece and nephew. We all have family. Just it's a tipping point.
What's the closest you've seen to stuff like this? What's the closest atmosphere you felt like was this? Is there anything it reminds you of?
Probably the Rodney King thing. The Rodney King that when again seen on video and they got acquitted. So that's when there's video evidence of it. And not only did they see it, the world saw it and still went free. What do you do with that? Right. So this is not my words, but there is we quote many people from the past. This guy's maybe one of the most underrated speakers of truth in trying times. His name is James Baldwin. 50s, 60s era was probably where he was the most prominent. He says it's certain in any case that ignorance allied with power is the most ferocious enemy justice can have. That was deep.
Very.
And it was very poignant. It's very poignant. So you pray and you try to do the best you can, but at a certain point, you got to stand up. Now, there are different ways to stand up.
That's what I want to go into. And PJ, you're my big brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like marching. I feel like going out and getting on the corner and saying, "Hey, man, I'm here to help." Unfortunately, I'm probably a little too popular. Hell, we probably go, if me and you go out there, people gonna start interviewing us and shit. I mean, it's just how it goes. But my
I
heart,
don't know about that.
My heart is with people. Everybody knows you. All decade team, just like me. Congrats on that, by the way.
What I'm saying is, if you in that mix and that, you gonna get it too.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You can get it too.
You're right.
Possibly, you can possibly get it too because the name ain't gonna matter in that type of scenario.
That's facts. Facts.
So, it's sad because it's like, how long we got to deal with this same thing? Like, we know now that there are different pigmentations, right? We know that. All should be respected. All should be loved. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't. What your pigmentation is shouldn't define how somebody treats you. It shouldn't. Now, I'm not some pie in the sky. Everything's rosy. I know what time it is. But do we want to be better people or not? That just goes for everybody. I'm not talking about no particular cop. I'm not talking about a looter or whatever. As a country, we're better than what we're doing right now. Or we should be. I'll put it that way. We should be better than what's going on now, because we've seen too much to still have these same issues on this larger scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 60s we thought was the tipping point when the right to vote and more of an equal situation, thought process anyway, not necessarily reality. Or the Jim Crow, or the actual slavery, or bringing people from other countries doing the work that they didn't want to do, right? We haven't learned from any of that.
I guess not.
It's sad.
My question, and you can comment on this, PJ, is I appreciate, and I had Gabe Lynn on earlier, great DB, doing great work down at Houston Baptist. I truly appreciate, I mentioned me being half white. I appreciate, dude, I ain't gonna lie to you, PJ. I appreciate the white people that have stood up, but half of my white family, they are occupied with other things. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't seen the Facebook post from them. Will I talk to them about it? Absolutely. But they don't feel what I feel. They don't see what I see. They don't, even the ones that did speak up, PJ, why did it take George Floyd to do it? What they didn't see Tamir? They didn't see Laquan McDonald? They didn't see Eric Garner? All these why George Floyd? Why him? And now, and again, I salute and I'm appreciative of them stepping up. But again, absolutely. PJ, we've been doing this has been too long. It's too much. And lastly, it's getting more and more traumatizing. It's getting more and more normalized. That's
the scary part.
You hear more and more bullets, and you're just supposed to just blow it off. And I just shot 19 times. What? He was only on his neck for 9 minutes. You had what? Yeah. I don't know. Where do we go from here?
You know, in situations like that, you don't look around, you look up. You have to. There's a lot of people profess something that they don't actually live in many forms. But I wish we as a country were really what we profess we wanted to be. And we all know every race, every creed, whatever, there's good and bad in both. So none of this is anti-everybody over there. I don't look at it like that. But I do look at situations that are similar that are handled very different. So let's say he was either forge a check or was
used a fake $10 bill, $20 bill,
a fake $10, $20 bill. It was worth all that? Or did you think you had the power to do it and nobody was going to do nothing about it? See, with power comes responsibility. And that people want power, but it comes with responsibility. So sometimes the responsibility is good. Sometimes it's not. And to have that power, there's a responsibility that comes with that. And we should not have to beg to have a guy who sat on that man's neck. You can tell he was not worried, because if a cop or anybody was worried, you wouldn't have both your hands in your pockets.
That's what you get for doing drugs, kids. You wouldn't yell that out.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
What? So doing drugs? You picked him up for a counterfeit money.
It was worth all that? And then the little lookout dude that he had with him, that pimp, some people are saying is the brother of his wife or whatever.
Wow.
It's just so many things coming into this. And it's like, when are we gonna learn? We all God's children. We different. We're born different, we think different, but we're still people. And I think people lose a lot of sight in that. Now, again, I'll address everything. I don't like the looting from in any form, right? But I get the anger, I get the frustration, and I get it has to be let out. So I am totally on the Floyd family side in this. There was no reason for him to die. Just like it was no reason for a video to be hid in Georgia that came out, 3 months later? 2.5 to 3 months later, right? So this is, again, I'm not saying original things. I'm just giving my viewpoint. And having said that, when you give a viewpoint on some things that are going on right now, it doesn't mean you don't like a race of people, right? Absolutely. It don't mean that. But your silence says a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not always that you have to it's not always that you have to actually even really do something all the time. Because there's been a bunch of issues that have happened around the world, and I haven't necessarily done anything about it, but to have empathy for, you know what I'm saying? And to see that this is wrong and to call it out. Some people won't even do that.
Yep.
They won't even call it out. You know, the thing to I kind of compare and contrast. Let's say that was $20. Let's say everything was right. It was forged, stolen, whatever, fake, whatever. So that was a sentence that man knew what he was doing. The cop knew what he was doing. Now, whether they knew each other before or worked with each other somewhere else, I don't know. We both probably heard that. I don't know if that's true or not. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, how come I've seen different situations where Dylan Roof goes into a place of worships with him for an hour, and then kills everybody there. And then what did the first thing the cops did? Took him to Burger King to nourish his body before they took him to jail. That's frustrating. But what is going to be even more frustrating is what I think some will take from this. It is saying it's all white people doing something wrong. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. Because your skin color isn't the issue. Your mentality is the issue. Now, when you steady seeing it happen, you start to ask questions, right? What about the guy down in El Paso? Killed 23 people. Did they shoot him? What did they do to him? Put him in cuffs. Now, what we could be talking about is racism. What we also could be talking about is good policemen, bad policemen. I don't have all the answers. I just got questions. Why do some people get to walk away and live and others don't?
Man.
In those scenarios. So again, I'm always speak my mind, but I don't want people to misconstrue my words or my intentions. I'm not a pit you against someone else type dude. But when I see similar situations but different results, then I get mad. Right?
Yeah.
Just like I sat here and said, I don't like the looting. That's not productive. It's not right. Somebody worked for that. Right? And especially when you do it in your own neighborhood and you know these people. Right? So we all need to get better. But I'm not going to do the all thing when it's a cop issue right now. Or maybe better said, I forgot what his name is, the officer's issue. Because you can't cast aspersions.
Something like that.
You can't cast aspersions on every police officer that's out there because there are a lot of great police officers. We shouldn't have to say that. Right? It's known. But if you knock a cop sometimes, say something negative about a cop,
everybody assumes you hate all cops.
Right. And
everybody
that's not the case.
Exactly.
It's not the case.
Exactly.
We're talking about particular situations that are going on.
We've done podcasts with cops.
I got a mixed daughter. I love all people. I don't care what your pigmentation is. I care how you are. What's your heart like? And silence is very loud at times. It's very loud at times. And when you have people that are continuing to see the similar things happen to their community more. Okay, so this, because I like addressing stuff. Sugarcoat nothing. So then people start to bring up black on black crime. Okay, that's just like white on white crime. We're talking about power and authority being misused. That's different to me than someone white killing someone white because of an issue, or someone black killing someone black because of an issue. Both are wrong. But when there is power in the ability to do what they do, that's scary.
No doubt.
Because some people can make it go away.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to really, like, what kind of country we really want to be? Do we really want to live up to what is said about it? I would like to. We all fall short of the glory. Trust that. No, I do. But and people are getting too comfortable with it. You know what I mean? People are getting too comfortable with it. And, people that are doing things that aren't right need to be called out. Doesn't necessarily mean they got to be killed, depending on certain things, right? But again, man, I don't have all the answers. I just feel like we need to do better, because every great, and I don't think this is going to happen, and I pray it doesn't happen, but every great dynasty, right? That's usually the word they use for it, crumbles from within. You're weak within, and then you get taken over because you're weak within. People no longer respect you. People no longer trust you, right? So when you crumble from within, it's easier to be overtaken. And as much as I have some issues with things that go on within this country, I don't want it to go away. You know what I'm saying? I just want it to be better.
Absolutely.
I want it to grow into what we profess it is. Now, again, if I say I know I fall short of the glory, I know someone else will too. That's just part of life. Nobody's perfect. Only one, right? So I just want people to really listen to what someone says. A lot of times people listen to respond. They don't listen to understand.
Right.
Right? Okay, get finished, JD, and then now I'm ready to respond.
Exactly. I already got my mind
I want to get my
up.
point across.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So if you don't really listen to what someone is saying, you may be answering something that's not even really what it was about. And again, I say all the time, I don't have the answers. I just got questions. But we have the ability to get better, right? Do we want to? Are we willing to put in the work? Now, some people will say you're criticizing America. I'm criticizing actions that people do within America. Right?
Right.
Actions people do. And actions have consequences. But it needs to have consequences for everybody.
That's real.
That are in the same scenario.
Has old girl that called the police on the guy that was with Birdie, has she got arrested for a false police report, or has she gotten in trouble yet? Because again, I mean, this is when we talk about, the equal treat. I'm not asking somebody to treat me different. I just want to be treated the same way you would treat. Would you call your aunt's boyfriend? Would you call the police on them when they're watching birds in a Central Park? No. You would call the park ranger before you call them. You call the manager before you call the police. But unfortunately, people, in my opinion, it looks like call the police so that what happened to George Floyd can happen. Especially when it's us. They it's like, and then PJ, what crime is a death sentence for us? Everything.
I mean, it's It's a scary time because when emotions get flared up, people, myself included, sometimes you're not thinking as clearly because you're emotionally tied up or you're mad, disappointed. You know what I'm saying? We all have feelings, whether how we show them or whatever, what gets to us. It's always something. But when you put emotions, power, lack of power, and then things that can kill people. That's a crazy mix right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because an emotional person may do something. A person in an emotional state, we're all emotional to some degree, but a person in an emotional state may make a bad decision because they're not thinking, they're feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I just want us to try to live what we profess that we say this is.
Love that neighbor.
But like, even if you don't listen, you don't have to love everybody. Just don't kill them.
PJ, there's no reason my man should be driving in a JB Hunt truck in Edmond and not getting, stuck in a neighborhood, harassed. I mean, we're a part of this country too. And it's hard, PJ, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. What hurts me the most as a biracial, black, whatever you want to call me, what hurts me the most is that people can come find my Twitter, can come find my phone number when they need or want to hear about play calls or want to hear about football or want to hear about that. You can find me then. But when an entire family of mine or some of my family may be feeling a certain way, you can't find me then? Well, don't find me at all. That's my thing. Don't find me when it's convenient about you. Don't find me racially when the race talk is okay for you. And because, again, I get it, PJ. I probably wouldn't want to talk to me about this right now because I'm going to get amped up. It's not going to, and not even in a finger pointing or blaming type way. I'm going to get amped up because this is what I've experienced. This is what my family has experienced. This is what my dad talked. Did your dad talk to you about these things? I mean, what?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
I don't know about that hadn't.
Let me know.
Had that talk.
I mean, it's just frustrating, man. I don't know what other way to put it. It's frustrating.
The thing that, again, we'll say it again for some people when they came in. We need cops. Most cops are good. That's not hard to say. Most cops are good. Or there'll be a whole lot more people dead. Most cops are good. We need them. We understand that. But there is a dynamic that has to be figured out at some point. Yes, you are a cop. Yes, he's a cop. Yes, you played on the team. He played on the team. Mm-hmm. Yes, you work together. You work together. I'm making it more than just to please, because these issues happen everywhere. Are you okay with someone in your profession acting like that, whether it's killing someone unjustly, whether it's doing something in the workplace that's not right? Are you okay with that going on? Because silence says a lot. Right? Silence says a lot. In anything, silence says a lot. So for those that will say, oh, you're just picking on the police. No, we're talking about a situation that happened. It dealt with the police.
Mainly the apprehension process, PJ. The apprehension process.
We're just talking about what happened.
They getting, I'm sorry to cut you off, but they getting wild, dog. They're showing it on TV now, live with journalists. They locking journalists up for nothing. Hey, what is he getting locked up for? He was just standing there. I mean, maybe. Well, again, we didn't see the video beforehand, and blah blah blah. Come on, dog. They can't just tell him to move out the way. Y'all gotta. And then lastly, PJ, it's almost like they don't think we feel pain. I'm sorry. I hate to say it that way, but my man's neck was leaned on. It looked like he was bleeding. I don't know how many times I have to see more videos with just more bullets. I'm sorry, PJ. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's just I'm.
No, you're good. You're good.
Woo!
I mean, it's a frustrating situation. It's frustrating, and it's frustrating when I see people want to do something, and some feel like they're not enabled. They can't do anything. So the frustration manifests itself the wrong way sometimes. And that is, knocking this window out, doing this and doing that. And this is not a justification. This is just what I've heard said. Okay. You tried to kneel. You said that was disrespectful. So how do you want it handled if these type of situations continue to happen? Should you just sit here and take it continually? Because some people, you know what I'm saying? And again, these are just conversations. These are just conversations on things that's going on. We usually talk sports, but neither of us are afraid to talk about these issues because I don't think either of us has said anything that somebody should be mad about. Oh, well, you didn't mention. Yeah, I did mention the Lewis a couple times, right? That's not good. That's not good. Somebody work for that. You don't want somebody coming breaking your stuff. I get the frustration. And I get wanting to let it out. I do. But I also get the frustration of you're feeling like you're not being heard. You're feeling like you don't have value. And that someone can just do something to you because they have power or the perception thereof. And that can be very frustrating. So we just gotta, I mean, man, I really don't have the answers. I really wish I did. I really wish I did. I got a bunch of questions on like, is this who we want to be?
That's real. Let's end it with this because it's been great. But Pete, what in your ideal, what does an ideal world, an ideal America look like for you? Let's end it with that. What would you like to see change? Is it just the police brutality? Would you like to see people be more accepting to things like protests? What?
I think we know where I stand on the protesting. I'm for protesting, but I'm for it where it's not taking something from somebody. You know what I mean? Like a store that someone had, and you run up in there and take something out. That wasn't for the guy that died. That was just an opportunity to take something, right? Just like, see, I call out both sides. But when you're in a place of authority, like the bad cops, not the cops, the bad cops, let's be clear on that, then you have a higher burden because you took that job to work in those neighborhoods, to protect and serve. In these scenarios that we're seeing, not the great cops, in these scenarios we're not seeing protect and serve. We're saying, I'll do this because I can.
Man.
And that's when you got the wrong people in the wrong.
I think you might have hit your audio button, so it went off real quick. Okay. What was that last sentence you said?
Okay, somebody was calling me. Shouldn't have certain jobs. You know what I mean? So if that is your job to do whatever it is, you knew that. So work accordingly.
Real.
You know what I'm saying? Work accordingly, because in the end, nobody's going to win if we're shooting within. Just think about that. In the end, nobody's going to win it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want people, again, I'm a backslider. I believe. I fall short of the glory. I wish we live what we profess on Sunday.
That's real.
And that includes me.
Absolutely.
I wish we lived what people profess they love so much.
Yep.
We have to do better. Because if we continue going down this road, and I'm not saying we as in black, I'm saying we as in
Americans.
Everybody in this country. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We have the possibility to be the beautiful mosaic they say it is. We have that possibility, right? But if we don't get better, do better, you don't really see things kind of crumbling because you're used to seeing it, so you don't see the little things. But after a while, I don't want this to happen, and I don't think it will. But every great nation has crumbled from within first. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want anybody to die, right? If you don't like me, cool, just stay over there. Just don't shoot me, right? And if you're, I get the frustration, because I was really off, right? Multiple times, and a lot of things is going on. Sarah Bland, we still don't know who killed her in jail. We just know she was killed in jail. So there's a bunch of people we can mention on that, right? But we have to also, and this is hard for some, and I'm speaking about something I haven't done, so this is just my thoughts. I'm not an expert on this. But don't give them a reason to really get you.
That's a great point.
And what I mean by that is I understand your frustration.
But you gotta do it wise. You gotta do it wise.
I'm tired of seeing it. But don't go.
Especially now. Especially now.
He got the right to come get you.
They looking for it. They
you know what I'm saying?
They looking for it now.
Well, I'm just saying. And then you got to watch out for the people that are coming from other areas, starting this, and then slipping away. There's a lot going on.
I know it, brother. That's why I called you. I needed to know.
So what we have to do is we have to control what we can control, right? Control what we can control. And this is not a political comment, but it is a fact. You have to be very, I don't say have to. I would like people to focus more on issues, right? And be cognizant of things other than just what you like. Because politics,
oh man, PJ,
politics can be boring at some times.
That's real.
Politics can be boring at sometimes, right? But it's not boring when it comes at every 2 years or every 4 years. So just kind of be aware of what's going on. And again, I'm not talking about who you should vote for a president. That's none of my business. That's a private thing for each and every American that we should have. I don't care who you vote for, right? I don't care who you vote for, but vote, because people die for that. What I'm saying is be aware of things that are going on and be aware of who you're voting for, right? And again, I'm not telling anybody what to do. But the reason I say be aware is because now you're more cognizant to what the people who are making decisions for you, what they're actually voting on and voting for and voting against. That way, you know, if you don't like this going on right now, whether it be Republican or Democrat, I don't care who you vote for, go vote. You can see who isn't doing something in an area that it should be. And then you can know something about it and then vote that person out. You don't go hurt them, vote them out, right? So I don't want this to come across as I'm political and I want somebody to vote a certain way. No, I want you to vote because people died for that. Whatever you decide to do, your life choices and what you think or whatever, what's in your heart, go vote. I ain't got no problem with that. But we need to do better on individual accountability first. individual accountability first. And then we need to, well, no, that's not first. First is living what we profess on Sunday. Wherever you go, I don't care what your religion is, wherever you go, if you believe in something, that's where you need to start first, including me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then it's not hard to be nice to somebody. Right? You ain't gotta be fake. It ain't hard. And if that ain't your cup of tea, don't deal with them.
That's real.
So it's I just see we still have the ability to be much better than we are, right? And having said that, somebody may say, "Oh, you think we're bad now?" No, I didn't say that. You have the ability to be better than you are. I have the ability to be better than I am, right? So let's try to be better.
That's real.
I don't think that's a left or right thing. I don't think that's a black, white, Latino, Spanish, Asian. I just think that's the thing to do. Let's try to be better. Nobody's going to be perfect. Everybody's going to fall short of the glory. Let's just try to be the best we can. And if we do that, it can get better. It'll never be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. On this earth anyway. No such thing. But if we can listen to understand instead of listen to respond, that would help a lot. Because a lot of people listen to JD, okay, I'm just ready to talk. No, let me take in what he actually said. Because we might come to an agreement on something and maybe we made a move forward, or I just didn't like that at all. But I need to know what I'm actually responding to. So listen to understand rather than listen to respond first.
That's real.
And put God first. I'm not afraid to say that. You ain't got to. I'm just for me. I don't do all this telling somebody what they're supposed to do. But for me, that helps. You know what I'm saying? And again, I fall short of the glory. You know that. But we need to do more of that other than just when it's bad times. Because when it go bad, we all, right? When it's bad times, wars, things like that, more people go to church, more people pray. Going to the building alone isn't the only way to worship. Get on your knees at home or whatever. I'm not trying to make this too much religious. I'm just saying, if that's what you believe, let's get better. Let's become a better country. Let's understand each other more. Understand that we different. But listen, wars are gonna come, unfortunately. We pray we have the right people in office making the right decisions. Disagreements are gonna happen at work, disagreements are gonna happen on football teams, disagreements are gonna happen in life. How do you handle it? How do you handle it? And right now, things are a mess. And one person is not gonna fix that. We need to all understand if we want this thing to work like we should, and we don't crumble from within, and people from overseas. Okay, listen, you think we got to, there's some issues here that I got big problems with. Mm-hmm. You don't want them other problems over there.
Right.
Right? But when you say that, that doesn't take what's going on here off the hook. Right? We see the issues. But over there, yeah, they trying to take this over. So you got to be aware of things that are unseen. I mean, you got to know it, but be aware. We can be better. We listen. We can be better than this, and we're better than it was before. So, but right now, it's almost like a boxing match. People in their corners, right? Are you more mad that man was killed, or are you more mad that people were looting in the streets?
You're plotting your next move. You're plotting this. You're plotting what you're gonna say. Right? You're plotting your strategy. That's good.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what's the end game? What are we trying to accomplish?
Is everybody needs to go out to the middle. Everybody needs to get out that corner, get out to the middle, figure the shit out like men. That's the problem, man. I mean, PJ, that officer could have written that man a ticket.
He didn't want to. Listen, I don't know what the technical term for what happened is. Maybe it's third-degree murder, what people say, whatever. He knew what he was doing.
If it's $10 or $20 though, bro.
I don't care if it's $100,000.
That's my thing. I mean, I'm with you.
Right? You're the cops. You're not supposed to be in the streets. You're the cops. You're supposed to be, and again, I get that they're human. You're supposed to be there to
protect,
calm situations down. Right? And that, from what I saw, I wasn't there, but from what I saw, that was too much.
You're right.
You know what I mean? And he was not scared because his hands was in or near his pockets. Now the crazy thing is, did you see the ambulance come?
I didn't see it on the video.
Yeah, I saw a video. I'm not true with it. I saw a video where an ambulance came.
Okay.
And 2 officers got out of the ambulance. But they didn't have EMT stuff on them.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know. I just know that there's still a chance that this country could be better. And the people in it can be better. Including myself.
I'll tell you this, man. They're going to be much better if they listen to you on this, brother. It was awesome, man. This was awesome. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to make my son watch this.
And one more thing, too, right quick. I probably make some people mad, but I don't care. If people are going to engage with someone else that they know have a different point of view, right? It's 2 things then. If you know how you're going to react, why engage with them? Right? You know what I'm saying? If you know it's going to get you there,
why go there?
You know what I'm saying? But if it is someone, because I got a lot of friends, or let me put this, I got a lot of people that I'm really cool with, that sometimes we just don't agree. But because I don't agree with him or her, it doesn't mean I don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't come together on that situation.
Yeah, I see you debate a lot of people in basketball. Y'all get intense with it. Still friends.
Yeah, it ain't personal.
White, black, brown, women, men, they all get to work.
Man, I don't care. I don't care. I care how you
your musical taste. You post a lot of different cultures. I mean, so
you know what I'm saying? But again, the overall riding thing is we need to do better than what we're doing. We need to do better than what we're doing, and we need to have that. No, I won't say that because it'll come across wrong, and that's not how I mean it. I'll just put you like this: we need everybody to try as hard as they can to be the best they can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And try not to judge people so much. Unless it's, I mean, when you see it, right, you can judge seeing it. You know what I mean? But this is a tricky time right now because it's really emotional, right? You got a heated election that's going to be coming up. Everybody go vote. I didn't say one or the other. Everybody go because people died for that. And if you don't like something, every 2 years, every 4 years, that's where you make your difference. If you don't want to go out there and protest, fine. If you don't want to go out there and picket, fine. But go every 2 or 4 years and vote for who you think or what you think is the right way for the next 4 years if you're president, 6 or 8 years if you're in the Congress or Senate, whatever it is. If you're able to vote, because sometimes people can't because of the prison thing,
mm-hmm.
but if you're able to vote and you don't just because you're not going to, then it's a little hard, you know what I mean, to say why this didn't happen because if somebody thought like you for that, then somebody else thought like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's why I say Republican or Democrat, I don't care which one you want, go vote. Because that way we'll have a true estimation of where we are. And then once we know where we are, then we know what we got to do next. But This is not going to be the last time that happens.
That's real. That, right? Oh, PJ, we'll be back by the time we do another pod.
We're going unfortunately,
3 or 4
this conversation will come up. The conversation will come up. Right? So I'd never say all anything. Say who did it. Because if somebody breaking in your house, you're going to want a cop to come. Mm-hmm. You just want the right one. Man, this would be awesome, brother. I appreciate you, PJ. All love to you and Mama Mills, man. Hope she's feeling well. Hey, man.
And
man, appreciate it, man. All love to you, man. And all love to everybody.
It's real.
Everybody, in my opinion, is God's child. And we just gotta do better. You know what I'm saying? But don't trust me. It's hard to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to see stuff like that. And when you get people emotional like that, reactions are gonna happen. But if you can, try not to tear people's stuff up.
Yeah.
You know people work for that.
They can't do any better than this podcast, brother. So the only way they're gonna be better is if they watch and listen to you. They gotta listen to you. Hey.
That's you.
Appreciate you. It's always a great one, brother. Another great episode of Fullback You.
God bless everybody out there, man. Just remember, we all God's children.
Yes, sir. Fullback You.
All right, man.
Later.
Peace. No doubt.